Hey, what's up, guys? I need to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while. I just hadn't got around to doing a video on it. Conor McGregor made news saying that he would not return to the octagon unless he was a co-promoter in the event, unless he got ownership stake in the UFC. Making these kind of demands, man, wanting to be in association with the UFC, McGregor Sports Entertainment, for him to come back to the octagon. I like Conor McGregor, man. I am a fan of Conor McGregor, and I wish all the fighters the best. I hope they can make all the money they can make, man. But when it comes to these disputes between fighters and the UFC, I look at it from both sides. I look at it from the fighter's point of view, but I also look at it from the UFC's point of view, from the business side point of view. I put myself in the UFC's shoes. And I also look at it from the fans' perspective. I don't know what people are saying about this, what fans are saying about this, but I'm telling you, man, if the UFC bends over and allows this to happen, this will be bad for MMA fans worldwide, man. This will be bad. This will be setting a bad precedent. Why? Because the UFC will go the way of boxing. It will. If they allow Conor McGregor to do this, what would stop Tony Ferguson from creating El Cucuy Promotions? What would stop Stipe Miocic from creating Stipe Promotions? What would stop Mighty Mouse from creating Mighty Mouse Promotions? And on and on and on, man. This would be a disaster, man. Tyron Woodley, T-Wood Promotions. And when we want to see the big fights, and we want to see fights get made, every guy be a diva. Every guy will say, I'm my own promoter. You got to do business with me. Making all these demands. You gotta put my name on the event. You got to pay me X amount of dollars. Instead of things being like they are now, all the guys under one banner, the UFC, being under contract, having to serve terms of their contract, and fights getting made, man, without much difficulty. It might be a little difficult here and there, but for the most part, man, we get the fights that we want. And, it's these kind of things, man, that would just change the game. It'll ruin MMA. It'll ruin the UFC, man. And I don't want to hear this diva shit with MMA, man. That's one of the advantages that the UFC has over boxing. If you're signed with the UFC, you have a contract, and they offer you fights. They try to make the biggest and best fights, and they have it set up to where the champions make the most money. So the goal is to reach that title if you want to make the big money. If you want to get a cut of the pay-per-view, bigger guarantees, you will strive for that title. You will strive to win fights. You will get double your pay if you win a fight in most cases, unless you have, a flat fee contract, like the Michael Bispings of the world, and Dan Henderson when he was fighting. You make a certain flat fee just to fight. But this would be bad, man. I do not want the UFC going this way. If I was in Dana White's shoes, man, if I was in Ari Emanuel's shoes, man, and if Conor really truly tries to make us think about this, I would have a sit down with him and ask him who the hell he thinks he is. We allowed you to have a fight with Floyd Mayweather, where you got a $30 million guarantee, and you made upwards of $100 million after it was all said and done. We could have blocked you from having that fight. We could have blocked you from making that big payday. We didn't have to allow you to do that. And if Conor McGregor would have thrown the hissy fit and didn't want to hold up the UFC, didn't want to fight anymore, then fine, sit out. But they maintain your rights, to compete. And, if you don't want to compete, then you'll just be sitting out, until you can't fight no more. They could have helped put this guy on ice if he did not want to, compete for the UFC. You know, if they would have blocked that fight. So, and they can still do it. If they can, the guy's still on the contract. You know, if he wants to be a diva, you know, they can say, hey, you know, no, we like they said before with Fedor in M1. When M1 wanted to do a co-promotion with the UFC to get Fedor in, they were like, nope, we don't co-promote. And I admired it. I admire that stance. That's their company. You know, they built it up to what it was, to what it is. And why attach somebody else's name to it, man? You know, the UFC they turned down that Fedor deal and offer, and guess what? The UFC went on along all fine and dandy. They made plenty of great fights to the point to where they sold the company for over $4 billion, man, without Fedor. So, you know, I know Conor has been their biggest draw. He's made them a lot of money. But hey, if Conor's not fighting, if he's on ice, the show's gonna go right along. All the best fighters in the world are gonna strive to get to the UFC, and you know, they will have the best guys on the contract. Without the UFC, you know, who is Conor McGregor gonna fight? You know, who is he gonna fight? Let's just say the UFC granted him his release. Who is he gonna fight? Is he gonna go to Bellator and have a big money fight with Michael Chandler? You know, Benson Henderson? You know, I mean, come on, man. You know, forget about it. I'm pretty sure Bellator would be more than willing and happy to do a co-promotion with McGregor Sports Entertainment, man. I'm pretty sure, you know, Scott Coker, Viacom, they was do whatever Conor wanted. Pay-per-view, give him a nice chunk, all that shit, whatever he wanted. But the UFC, man, look, they don't have to do it. They don't have to do it, man. They have plenty of great fighters under contract. You know, that's the birthplace of the sport. You know, the history, lineage of their titles, man, is tied up with the history of the sport, man. You know, the best have been there, man. And I say, Conor, look, man, if you want to be a promoter, start up McGregor Promotions, the notorious MMA promotion, whatever you want to call it. You know, start it up and build it from the ground up. Be your own promoter if that's what you want to do. The most I would give McGregor in this situation is I would say, okay, you want to be a quote unquote co-promoter, you want to be tied in. The best that we would do is if you want to sign a contract as you know, McGregor Sports Entertainment, if you want to sign it that way, we will write your check out payable to McGregor Sports Entertainment. But that's about it. You know, it's not going to be UFC 250 in association with McGregor Sports Entertainment. It's not going to happen, man. You know, we're not going to give you a chunk of our business, man. He's talking about being a co-promoter, when you know, when they, you know, made all the investment, put in all the work, and he's talking about being a co-owner. You know, having a share of the company. Look, when he retires, if he wants to, you know, buy in, that's all fine and dandy. But as a current fighter, I would rather not see it, man. You know, because if he has a close fight that goes to a decision, and you know, a lot of people think another guy won, but he gets the decision. You know, that's controversy, man. And like, damn, well, hell, he a co-owner, he got the decision when he shouldn't have. You know, or if he, you know, knocks a guy down and they wave the fight off fast, then that's a controversy. Well, damn, Conor McGregor, he co-owner. You know, he got a stake in the company. Of course, they gonna, you know, stop the fight fast so he can get the win. So, conflict of interest, man. I do not want any, you know, active UFC fighters being co-owners, man. You know, having a share of the company. I don't. You know, after they retire, you know, if they want to buy a piece, if they got the money and the UFC, if somebody wants to sell them a share of the company, that's fine. But as a current fighter, I don't want to see it, man. I don't want to see it. You know, these guys having say-so over what other fighters are making and all this kind of shit, man. Nah, man, I don't want that. You know, if a guy retires, buys a share, wants to make a comeback, he got to sell his share to make a comeback. That's what I like to see. I don't want no conflicts, man. I don't want no conflicts. You know, when the Fertittas owned the UFC, it was perfect, man. Everything was going along fine. You know, Mike Goldberg was the announcer. We were getting all the fights we wanted. The Fertittas you know, are willing to throw millions and millions of dollars on promotion, advertisements, you know, making these fights. They did whatever needed to be done. You know, so, and, you know, with the new ownership, the company's taking a step back. If they bend over and allow Conor to strong arm them, and, you know, demand that he's a promoter, that his name's on the, you know, beside the event, all this and that, it's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna set a bad trend. You know, like I said, what's gonna stop all the other champions from doing the same shit? Holding up the UFC, man. You know, then people will be getting stripped, and it'll just be a big mess, man. You know, if the UFC don't want to play ball with a Tyron Woodley or Demetrius Johnson, if they start up their own promotion company and then they want to hold the UFC up, you know, and the UFC like, well, we're not going to play ball with you guys. And then they'll be stripping them guys, and there'll be big controversy. They'll be sitting out, and the UFC will just turn into diva boxing, man. Diva boxing. That's all it'll be. It'll be harder for us to get the fights that we want. So, you know, from a fan's perspective, guys, you better think about it. You know, you better think about this. And I like Conor, man. I wanted him to get the Mayweather fight. He got the Mayweather fight. He made a lot of money. But he needs to stand down with this shit, man. He needs to be loyal to these guys. UFC has paid him a good coin, man. They were not paying, you know, fighters $15 million for one night, really before McGregor, man. Maybe they paid Lesnar in that ballpark, man. But you know, he's been making some damn good money, man. They gave him a great opportunity with that Floyd fight. They didn't have to do that shit. You know, why do not hold the UFC up, man? That's not cool. You know, so, you know, now I think he has like 4 fights left on his contract. If he wants to fight out that contract, which he said at the time, he said his contract was sweet as pie. He was not complaining about it before. Now, if he wants to fight that contract out and then do some kind of you know, negotiation, you know, that'd be one thing. You know, but you know, nah, man. Or if he wants to do like fights on a one-off basis, you know, that'd be something to look into. But you know, as of now, man, I do not want to see UFC in association with anybody. You know, it's the UFC, it's their company. You on the contract with them. You want to fight for the UFC. You want to fight in the octagon. You got to sign. You know, they got to be your promoter, man. You know, they are your promoter. You know, that's the way it works. And these champions, as I've heard Dana say, you know, when these guys are, you know, like the Ronda Rouseys and all these people who become champions and headline pay-per-view, get pay-per-view points, they view them as being partners. They say, you know, that they are business partners, that you are a partner in the pay-per-view. That's why these guys have to do more media, and they talk about getting paid for doing media and whining about media obligations. Shit, they getting paid more than other guys are, man. You know, a lot of these guys getting, you know, a $250,000 just to show, and then another $250,000 if they win. You know, plus pay-per-view points. You know, that could be a $1 million payday easily. You know, if you're getting, you know, $1 on each pay-per-view, hell, that's a good chunk of money, man. So, you know, you are a partner, man. You know, Conor McGregor, he is already a partner, man, making good money. You know, I'm not feeling any sympathy or sadness, you know, for Conor and the paychecks he getting from the UFC, because he's making damn good. All right. So I just want to sound off on that, man. You know, guys, fans, better think about this. You know, the UFC, they do not need to bend over backwards for Conor in this situation, man. And I like Conor. I'm a fan. But I do not want the UFC to go the way of boxing. He got a taste of the boxing spotlight, a taste of the boxing, you know, co-promotion deal and getting that kind of a payday. Now he wants to bring the boxing model and the boxing diva A side, diva mode, diva promoter to the UFC, the MMA. And we don't need that shit, man. We don't. So that's it, man. If I miss anything, I'll leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about it. And I'll check in with you guys soon, man. Thanks for watching.